Welcome along to another video where there's nothing quite as enjoyable as a new toy day. We have another delivery. Yes, I'm going to go on about Iwata yet again. Point out that we're not sponsored by, we're not endorsed by, they don't pay us for this. We just love the stuff. We've done this is now our third Iwata video, but we've done some bits and pieces which you've seen before with Justin. We've got the WSP primer gun, but before that, Justin came down and he did demo for us the LS split nozzle atomization gun, which we knew we were going to love, and we said in the video there and then that we will be upgrading to that. Well, today's the day, and much like another popular Japanese export, you've got to collect them all, really, haven't you? So we now have the full range of WS products that I want to do. So we thought we'd just do a quick opening of the box, because we're like little kids in here. And already I've realised I've not got the PPS adapter, so maybe we're not using this today, Lou. But we just thought we'd run through, again, sort of recap on what we use, why we use, and the benefits of it. And it's an excuse to show off a lovely array of paint guns for those sad folk that enjoy that kind of thing. So prior to today, we have been using for our base coat the WBX 400, which is split nozzle technology. We have gone over this before, I know, so apologies if you're bored already. Skip to one of our other videos. But the WBX 400 is what we've been using for the past 4 or 5 years now for our base coat gun, which has got it's split nozzle technology, but it's got a free cut in the fluid tip. Same as the primer gun. So it's got great atomization. It really is a superb bit of kit. We're not knocking it, it's staying on the rack. It will still be used. The advantage you've got with the 4 split air tip fluid tip rather, is you're atomizing it even further, and it gives a more consistent fan, and this is key with everything that we're doing, is the consistency of the fan. The primer gun, that's only got this 3 split, but there's a limit really to how far you can atomize that material. It's primer, it needs to build. Your goal there is not to get the primer as fine as possible, it still needs to build. Whereas your clear coat and your colour, we're looking for perfection with that in the way it lays down. And this technology really does does offer that rather. And it's just the next development, the next stage of development. So we thought we'd just run through what we use, why we use it. And because Iwata aren't involved in this video, we can say a few other things that we couldn't with a Iwata based video. So the gun rack now consists almost entirely of Iwata products. The only item on here that isn't Iwata that we do use is, and you've seen this in videos as well, we use the SATA BP100. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it is the BP100. This is our polyester primer gun. Thick, heavy material, so we've got a big 2.5 tip, really shallow horns, so we don't get a build-up of dry, crusted material on the horns as it atomizes. Really good bit of kit, heavy duty, throws a primer on. We're not looking for anything refined with this. It's spray filler. It just needs to go on. Most of it comes back off, blocks down. So we stick with that. When I started in paintwork many moons ago, it was DeVilbiss we used, the old GTI and the PRIs for the primer. And they're great products, don't get me wrong, they're still a great gun, but as your technique evolves and changes and your demand for the gun changes, you kind of look at alternatives, and the Iwata really does take some beating. So moving on from the DeVilbiss guns, we went SATA. In fact, I've still got, there we go. That's the Jet 5000 BRP. Now this gun is the 1.3, so this would have been our clear coat gun a few years back now. This would have been what we used for our clear coat. It's got the digital pressure regulator on there. And it was a great gun. When I moved to this from the DeVille Bis, it was a big step forward. You think, wow, that's just really nice. And we used that for a couple of years. And then we were introduced to the Iwata range. And again, that was just a big step forward. And this has been on the gun rack for quite a while, actually. We've only recently retired it. We had used this for wet-on-wet applications. And I did have cause to use it when I was doing a little sneaky 2 colours in the booth at the same time, which you shouldn't do. It was a little home job, so it didn't really matter. So I got that done. And I picked this up and went to apply the paint as I would do normally, having been using the Iwata now for a good number of years. And I just couldn't paint with it. In comparison, this is, sorry Sarda, it's quite crude in comparison. It throws out the material. And I'm used now to working in a certain way. And I try to apply that to this gun, doesn't work. I'd have to relearn application with this gun. Because we're spoiled now, we're so used to the way that the Anest Iwata products lay down the paint. It's kind of hard now to come back with that. So as things have developed, more and more the old technology, we're keeping it on the gun rack, we'll still be using it, but as everything moves forward, the old technology kind of drops off the back of the list. So, for example, the WBX now, we'll use that as our wet-on-wet application gun, which has taken that to the next level. It's outperforming the SATA that we were using. We're getting a better lay with the wet-on-wet through this gun, now that the LS has taken over base coat responsibilities. And even with the primer, we've had the WS now, 3 weeks I guess we've had the WS. And you may recall in that video I said that we'd probably take the Airgunzer video will now do all of our epoxy work. But the WS does it so nicely that that's just our go-to primer gun now for everything. I mean, even further down the range here, we've got, this is Airgunzer again, the AZ3, but this is an HTE-S. In a 1.8, same as the HTE-2 is in a 1.8, but this has got a slightly shallower fan, so it's a great gun for doing spot primer work. So prior to getting the WS in, we'd be using the HTE-2 for priming a full car, and then if we've got a small repair to do on a wing, for example, we've just got a small area to prime, we've got far more control with this. So this would be our spot priming gun. But then the WSP's kind of taken over both of those. It's so versatile, huge fan, but we can narrow that fan and get the atomization, the double atomization, to get a really nice layer primer. I've got a sneaking feeling that these 2 primer guns, as great as they are, and they really are great, are probably going to be seldom used. Because we do have the full WS range now, and the little LPH80 on the end here as a smart repair gun. Not that we do smart repairs, but as we've said before, engine bays, door shuts and things like that. Fantastic, great piece of kit. So I think just to kind of recap, to a point this comes down to budget. You know, if you're watching this at home and you're looking at doing a bit of DIY stuff in your garage or whatever, I wouldn't be saying make this kind of investment. These are not cheap pieces of equipment. They're a high-end product for consistency. You know, we use these day in, day out. Superb kit. We know each time we're going to use it, it's going to do what it needs to do. If you're doing a DIY project at home, you're probably not looking at spending that kind of money. I mean, LS, WS, you're looking at over £500 per gun plus the VAT, for the digital, that is. Whereas the Airgunzer stuff here, off the top of my head, I think this was sort of 150, 125, that kind of price bracket. We've actually recommended a couple of Airgunzer guns to customers of ours who are doing a bit of stuff at home as well, and a couple of other people have contacted us through the channel. So it is horses for courses, you get what you pay for. On a professional level, if you're doing this as your profession, we really cannot praise this equipment highly enough. The WS range, be it LS, WS, WSP, if you can't paint, you can't paint. But if you are a painter, this stuff really does work and will show your talents off to the best. And it's so dependable because of the size of the fan and the consistency of the fan. We can go in and just lay the paint down, and we know going from panel to panel to panel, it's going to be the same. And that really matters if we're doing bare shell repaints, because quite often we'll do the body shell and then we'll do all the panels separately. So we want temperature to be the same, we need air distances to be the same. There's a lot of consistency we need, especially with metallics, to make sure that colour's bang on. The the WBX, and now even more so with the LS, we know we're going to get consistency with our metallics, the way they lay, no tiger stripes, no issues. I mean, some colours are tricky. No matter how good you are at painting, certain silvers and certain metallics can be a nightmare, and this really does minimise all of those kinds of issues. So yeah, we're super chuffed. We've now got the full range. I don't know what Justin's going to sell us next. I'm sure he's working on something. But if you've watched any of our Iwata videos and are interested in learning more, or getting a demo, or hopefully buying some equipment, drop Justin a line. I've spoken to him. He's more than happy to put out his works mobile number and email address, which I'll do now. If you are in his catchment area, you'll be speaking to him. Fantastic guy, really, really good mate. If you're not in his catchment area, he'll put you on to the Iwata rep, who will take care of you and your needs. So thank you for watching what will probably be for a long time the last of the Iwata videos. We'll be back with more car stuff and using this equipment. So thanks for watching.